Isang masayang pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pag-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayun din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9 ng umaga hanggang 7 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat na nakatutok at nanonood sa ating ETUlay session ngayong Biyernes, Math Talino Friday. Ako po si Tutor Joshua.
Ako naman po si Tutor Queenie at nasa 8th week na po tayo ng third quarter. Napakabilis, ano? So, last week na ng ating quarter 3. Kaya inaaniyahan po namin kayong mga estudyante, pati na rin ang inyong mga magulang at guro na matuto kasama namin.
Kaya tara po, kasama ng ICTS, ETU, pati ang mga sumulat at bumuo ng mga modules na ginagamit natin para sa ating mga lessons. Narito po para itulay ang paggabay na pag-aaral ng matematika. At good afternoon po, namin ako nakikita ang bagong pangalan dito ng Tutor Queenie. Yan, nakasama natin sila Kurt Axel Furok ng Mariano Marcos National High School ng Echague Isabela. Good afternoon po. Si Wilfredo Ailangan from the same school. Ayan, si Samantha Fajardo from Santa Cruz National High School. Ayan, good afternoon. Kay Daryl Ann Cabredo, kasama ang kanilang school advisor na si Ma'am Myla Iloreta.
Ayan. So, andyan din si Rowen Salarzon Gatni ng Don Mariano Marcos National High School. Si Jade Cristel Domingo. Ayan, I think they're also from the same school. Good afternoon po sa inyo.
Ayan. Kaya again po, iniimbitahan po natin ang inyong mga kaklase, mga kamag-aral, pati na rin ng mga magulang at mga guro para po tayo ay magabayan sa pag-aaral. Hindi lang po ng math, pati po sa iba't ibang subject na ino-offer ng ETUlay sa pang-araw-araw. Mula Lunes hanggang Sabado.
So, sa ngayon, no, dahil nasa week 8 na tayo, special edition, so we will be having a recap and review of all the things that we learned for the whole quarter. So, kasama sa objective natin, Tutor Joshua?
And is to demonstrate understanding of key concepts of axiomatic structure of geometry and triangle congruence, and to communicate mathematical thinking with coherence and clarity in formulating, investigating, analyzing, and solving real-life problems involving congruent triangles using appropriate and accurate representation. So medyo mahaba-haba yung objectives natin, pero ito kasi yung totality ng ating third quarter.
Ayan. So handang-handa na ba sila Lea de Vera ng Ramon National High School, si Princess Mendoza Casilaw ng Godofredo Reyes Senior National High School? Kasi dito, ngayon, meron tayong mga items, okay, na i-review natin. So, naalala pa kaya at natutunan na natin yung mga skills na cover nitong quarter 3 natin. So, ready na ba? So, alalahanin lang na kapag magsasagot, huwag kalimutan yung kung anong number na yung inyong nasasagutan para ma-identify natin. Right?
Okay, so
Ayan,
ready na raw sila. So let's have the first question on the axiomatic structure or yung mga concepts sa pagbuo ng idea in geometry, no? And one of this is identifying statements kung totoo ba sila or hindi. Okay, so dig in with your knowledge. Let's have question number 1. Vertical angles are supplementary. Which statement is always true? Is it A, vertical angles are supplementary, B, linear pairs are supplementary, or C, adjacent angles are supplementary? Okay, we will give you 5 seconds to think of your answer,
Lagay, number 1, is it A, B, or C? Ayan. So kapag gaganyan, no, kailangan alalahanin nila, ano ba yung vertical angles? Ano yung linear pairs? Ano yung adjacent angles? At syempre, no, ano ba ang supplementary?
Yes.
Ayan, nakikita ko na. Ayan.
So ang answer ni Princess Mendoza Casilaw and our correct answer is letter B. And actually, ganoon din yung mga sagot nila Ayes Agustin, Antoinette Hernandez, Bea Gamier, ayan, JM Espino, Princess Casilaw, at actually pinakauna ay si Kate Ann, saka si Christopher Andrew Respicio.
Sabihin, naalala agad nila, ano-ano nga ba itong mga terms na ating nakita ngayon? So, review natin, no? When you say vertical angles,
When you say vertical, yeah.
ayan. So, pag vertical angles, ito yung mga angles na na-form, no? May intersecting lines tayo. So, itong 2 and 4, sila yung tinatawag nating vertical angle pair. And then 1 and 3, sila rin yung kapares. Okay? Kaya lang, we are not sure if they are supplementary. Ano nga ba, Tutor Joshua, ulit yung supplementary?
Okay, when we say angles are supplementary, the sum of their measures is equal to 180 degrees. And tandaan niyo po dalawang angles ang tinutukoy natin for supplementary angles. Pares po sila. So kung ang titingnan natin ay vertical angles, okay?
Hindi natin.
Itong dalawa lang to, angle 2 and angle 4. Super Queenie, may pagkakataon ba na supplementary yung vertical angles natin?
May pagkakataon ba? Kaya lang, Tutor Joshua, ano yan nakaforma tayo ng linear, ng straight line doon. So, ang ating supplementary dapat na 180 degrees in together. So, ayan, paki-confirm, Tutor Joshua. Posible ba or hindi?
Ayan. So para magkaroon tayo ng vertical angles sa supplementary, dapat yung measure ng vertical angles ay tig 90 degrees or both of them are right angles. Kaya lang ang tanong kasi kanina, no, always true. Okay? So hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon.
Actually, sa isang case lang, kasi sabi natin, vertical angles are congruent. So, yung 180, kailangan lang i-divide sa dalawa para sure tayo na makaka-supplementary pair tayo doon. Kaya lang, syempre, hindi lang naman 90-90 yung posible. So, it's not always true. It could be true in one case, but with other case, it's not true. Alright?
Okay.
While the adjacent angles naman, ang sure lang tayo sa adjacent angles is that they have a common side. Right? Pero hindi natin sure kung makakabuo ba yung dalawang yon ng 180 degrees together. Okay? But with linear pair, Tutor Joshua, bakit sure na sure tayo na they are supplementary?
Actually, kasi by definition ito, no? They are a pair of adjacent angles which are supplementary.
Ayun. Okay? Kaya sure na sure tayo because it's by the definition. So, palaging totoo. Hindi lang sa piling pagkakataon, pero palaging totoo. Yan. Okay? Very good tayo for the first question at maraming nakakuha yan. Okay? Good job, everyone. How about with the second question? Okay, so sabi, ang ating question dito, angle A is a right angle and angle J measures 90 degrees. Which statement can you concur? Is it A, angle A and angle J form a linear pair? B, angle A and angle J are vertical angles? C, angle A and angle J are supplementary. Okay? So, pag sinabi mong concur, ibig sabihin yung pwede mong ma-conclude from the statement mo. Okay? So, ano lang yung pwede natin i-assume? Ang pwede lang i-assume na si angle A ay right angle at si angle J ay 90 degrees. So, yun lang yung pwede natin i-assume. So, ano yung conclusion na pwede natin makuha from that? Alright?
Ayan, time is up. So, ang sagot nila Marniel Ramos, Christopher Spicio, Lea De Vera, letter C. Let's check kung letter C ba talaga. Pakita muna natin, no, Tutor Queenie, yung angle A and angle J. Sabi kasi, right angle daw sila. Okay? Right angle si angle A, tapos si angle J ay 90 degrees. So, kung wala sa choices yung yung una nating maisip, ano kaya yung una nating makikita based dito?
Kung wala sa choices.
Kasi pareha silang right angles, no? So congruent yung dalawang angles. Okay? Pero dahil wala sa choices yung congruent yung dalawang angles, we are sure na parehong 90 degrees yung measure niya. Okay? Hindi sila adjacent, so technically they will not form a linear pair in this case. Okay? Letter B naman, hindi sila magkadikit or parang intersecting lines, kaya wala tayong na-form ng vertical angles. Ang sure tayo is letter C. A and J are supplementary.
Yan. Okay, yung linear pair kasi, no, bakit hindi pwede ulit yung linear pair? Kasi kailangan they share a common side, right?
And define na rin natin o recall natin yung meaning ng supplementary. Saka syempre yung isa pang angle relationship between two angles. Okay?
Ayan. So, sabi natin, two angles are complementary if the sum of their measures is equal to 90 degrees. Okay lang if they share a common side or if they do not share a common side, basta they sum up to 90 degrees. While two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measures is equal to 180 degrees. Ayan.
And there are so many other angle relationship. Balikan nyo na lang po yung ating mga previous lessons para ma-review natin sila. Okay, question number 3. Ito yung medyo nakakatuwang banggitin na mnemonic. Okay? So what does CPCTC stand for? Okay, is it A, congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent? B, congruent parts of congruent triangles are corresponding? Or C, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent? Basahin po ng maigi kung alin dito ang tamang sagot.
Ayan. So, pero kung naalala natin, no, kung para saan itong mnemonic na to, mas madaling identify yung tama words for it. Ayun. Kuha nila Teacher Joshua. Dahil naiintindihan natin na ang CPCTC is corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Kasi diba, ginagamit natin yan nung nakaraan sa pag-prove. Okay? So, kailangan muna natin ipakita na meron tayong congruent triangles para pwede natin i-conclude na yung corresponding parts nila ay congruent din. Ayan. So, sabi natin, pag binigay na triangle ABC, congruent daw kay triangle DEF, then definitely the corresponding parts are also congruent. Ayan. Very good.
Ayan. So, kasi itong concept na ito, mapapatunayan natin na if we have already proven two triangles are congruent, masasabi na rin natin yung other corresponding parts are also congruent. And marami pang mararating yun, marami pang konsepto, marami pang statements siya makukuha. Okay? So let's have question number 4. Apply natin yung CPCTC dito sa question na ito. Okay? So let triangle ABC be congruent to triangle DEF such that the measure of angle B is equal to 30 degrees and the measure of angle F is equal to 80 degrees. The task is to find the measure of angle A. Okay? So is it A, 50 degrees, B, 70 degrees, or C, 110 degrees? So bigyan ko kayo ng hint hindi pala hint, technique. I-drawing po ninyo yung triangle kasi baka nahihirapan kayong tignan siya sa screen. Okay? So let's have 5 seconds.
So, isipin nyo, no? Kasi may congruent triangles tayo dito. So, pwede tayo maka-identify ng corresponding parts that are congruent. So, triangle ABC, congruent sa triangle DEF. Ibig sabihin, A corresponds to B, B corresponds to E, C corresponds to F. Ayan. So, bukod sa pag-drawing, Tutor Joshua, no, pwede rin nilang i-mark ang kanilang mga triangles para mas madaling ma-identify sino ba yung congruent at anong measures na yung alam natin.
Okay, so let's check, Tutor Queenie. No? Pakita muna natin yung markings na nasabi mo.
Okay.
Okay, so up. Ayan, tayong ulit. Okay, so we have triangle ABC. So yung corresponding angles, yung A corresponds to D, which are congruent. B corresponds to E, which angles are congruent. And then C corresponds to F. Kasi yung angles pinakamadaling hanapin. Okay? And next is yung ating sides. AB corresponds to DE or they are congruent. BC is congruent to EF and then side AC is congruent to DF. Tapos ilagay na natin no Tutor Queenie yung measurement nila dito sa illustration. Nasaan yung 30 degrees?
Nasa angle B. Dahil si angle B ay 30, at sabi natin ang corresponding angle niya doon sa kabila ay angle C. So si angle E ay 30 degrees din. Right? And then si angle F ay 80 degrees. Pero alam natin na si angle F corresponds to angle C doon sa kabila. So angle C is also 80 degrees.
Okay, angle F is 80 degrees. Then angle C is 80 degrees.
Alam na natin yung measure ng ng B, C, at saka ng E, at saka F. Kaya lang ang tinatanong ay A. So, if we check, angle A corresponds to angle B. Kaya lang parehong hindi natin alam kung anong measure dyan, Tutor Joshua. Paano bang pwedeng gawin?
Ayun, alalahanin natin yung isang theorem, yung triangle angle sum theorem. Ibig ang ini-state noon that the sum of the measure of the interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180. So, the measure of angle A plus 30 degrees plus 80 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. And by applying addition property or subtraction property of equality, we will arrive at the measure of angle A equal to 180 minus 110, which is 70 degrees.
Ayan.
So the answer is letter B.
Kita ko yung sagot ni Alphys, merong solution. 30 plus 80 is equal to 110, then 180 minus 110 is equal to 70. Yes, correct po. Ayan. So, pinagsama-sama na natin yung mga natutunan nating theorems at postulates ng nakaraan.
Kaya ingat-ingat po sa pagsasagot. Hindi lang tayo basta-basta nag-a-add. We are applying mathematical concepts in geometry. Kailangan na prove natin siya with properties, postulates, and theorems.
Ayan. So, medyo na-refresh na tayo ng congruent triangles. So, punta tayo sa isa pang question na meron din mga congruent triangles. So, we still have triangle ABC congruent to triangle BEF such that BC is equal to 4x minus 5 and EF is equal to 35 minus x. Find the length of side BC. Is it A, 8, B, 19, or C, 27? So, number 5, pakilagay ang inyong sagot. So, medyo may kailangang solving. So, nandun pa rin, dahil sabi natin kanina, congruent triangles yan. So, nandun pa rin yung corresponding parts. So, BA congruent to EB, and AC congruent to DF, and BC is congruent to EF.
Ayan. Siguro, Tutor Queenie, lagay na natin yung measurement nung ating So, si BC kasi is 4x minus 5. And then si EF, 35 minus x. And we are lucky enough na alam nating congruent sila. So we have here 4x minus 5 equals 35 minus x. So ito yung ating working equation to solve for this length na ating hinahanap. Okay? So may mga sumasagot na daw ng A. Check na natin kung tama yung sagot nila o parang may na-miss out ata silang gawin, no?
Actually, tama naman may lalabas na 8. Ano yung 8 na value na yan, Peter Joshua? Kasi di ba meron tayong 4x minus 5 is equal to 35 minus x. Kasi sabi natin, BC is congruent to EF. So their measures are equal. So from this, na-solve nila yan, Tutor Joshua, kasi 4x plus x is equal to 35 plus 5. So that will give us 5x is equal to 40 So, agad-agad, meron silang x is equal to 8. Ayan yung sinasabi nila na answer nila ay A. Kaya lang,
Yun.
mga itulay, student here. Yan ba yung tinatanong ng ating question number 5? Ayun,
Ayun.
may mga nag-change na ng mind. Alright. Ayun. So, sabi ni Mariel Ramos, x is equal to 8. Yes. Okay. Kaya lang ang hinahanap pala ay BC. So, yung isa pa, medyo nabitin lang tayo, na-excite lang tayo magsagot, no? So, yung susunod pa na step is we have to substitute the value of x. So, we have 4 times 8 minus 5. So, that is 27. Ayun. Eh, very good pa rin kasi kapag sagot agad kung ano talaga yung hinahanap nila.
Mhm.
Yan.
At least nahanap nila kagad yung value ng x, no? Medyo kailangan talaga nating i-review yung ating final answers. And syempre, yung question para sure tayo dun sa kakalabasan.
Pero good job pa rin everyone kasi you were able to identify that BC is equal to EF kaya
Yes.
agad-agad meron kayong working equation. Ayun. Ano lang, review with what is asked. Okay? Ayan.
Ayan. So let's move to the next part of the of the geometry ng ating third quarter, which is on proving. Okay?
Okay.
Tandaan po natin that when we are proving statements in geometry, we will use statements, mag-come up tayo ng statements, pero syempre dapat may kasunod yung reason para may paliwanag natin ng maayos. And one of the ways in proving statements in geometry is using the two-column proof. Sa left side, we have observations, arguments, or yung ating nabubuong statements, or conjectures. Ang conjectures, ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay parang anak siya ng postulate or anak siya ng theorem. Kasi yun yung kasunod na observation natin napapansin. And ito yung kasunod niyan o yung nagiging dahilan natin. The definition, walang tatalo dyan sa definitions. Postulates and theorems, and mathematical properties such as addition property of equality, reflexive property of congruence, symmetric property, and so on and so forth. Napakarami niya.
Ay, ang pinaka-importante, yung reasons are valid. Ayun. So, kaya kailangan yan yung mga nare-refer natin na reasons. Kasi ang importante, valid. Hindi pwedeng, parang feeling ko, mukha namang equal yung drawing, Joshua. So, hindi pwedeng feeling lang natin. Dapat yung valid reason. Yung something that can that can support our answer. Alright? So, isa sa mga naaral natin nung nakaraan, no, that can help us in showing triangle congruence are these postulates and theorem. Okay, naalala pa ba? SSS, congruence postulate. Tatlo yung postulate na yan, yung SAS at saka yung ASA. And the other one, yung last natin ay AAS, congruence theorem. Okay, so theorem na siya kasi nanggaling siya, yan yung parang kamag-anak ng ASA congruence postulate natin.
Ayun. And then, tandaan po natin, no, yung correspondences ng mga parts na yan. Yung sa side, wala tayong masyadong problema eh. Dun sa side angle side, tandaan po natin na yung angle is the included angle. Sabihin, nandun siya sa pagitan ng dalawang side. And for ASA, the side is the included side. Kaya lang, Tutor Queenie, para sa AAS, included pa rin ba yung gagamitin nating term?
Ayun. So, kaya siya naging theorem, no? Sabi, kahit hindi na included yung side, pwede pa rin masabi na they are congruent by this AAS. So, kahit hindi included yung side.
Ayun. So,
Kaya actually, pwede yan minsan sinusulat SAA or AA. Either way will do.
Ayan. So, let's put the idea or the concept into practice. So, sagutin natin yung question number 6. Okay? Which congruence postulate or theorem proves that triangle PQR is congruent to triangle PTR? So, is it the AAS congruence theorem, the ASA congruence postulate, or the SAS congruence postulate? So, tignan po natin yung drawing or yung illustration. Identify the parts which are congruent. Tapos hanapin nyo yung parang, ano no, hindi siya kulang eh. Yung kukumpleto doon sa ating triangle.
Oh. So, based on the figure that we have. Okay? So, tingnan ng mabuti, no? Tingnan ng mabuti. Ano ba yung mga congruent parts? Okay? Yung nandun sa triangle PQR, may congruent pa siya doon sa triangle PPR. So, hahanapin natin. So, habang naghihintay tayo ng sagot, Tutor Joshua, no? Isa-isahin natin. So, from this, we have, sabi dito, angle P, angle Q ay square corner. So, doon sa kabilang triangle, square corner din yung P. Ibig sabihin, they are congruent kasi pareho silang 90 degrees.
Ayun.
So, may isa na tayong pares. Isang pares ng angles. Next is our angle QRP congruent to angle TRP. That's
TRP.
angle, yes, TRP. Paano ko nalaman? Kasi mayroong marking. Pareho silang tag-isang red marking. Kaya nalaman ko na congruent sila. Okay? Kaya lang, Tutor Joshua, no, ito ay dalawang pares pa lang ng congruent parts. Yung postulates and theorem natin, kailangan 3 pares. So, based dito sa figure, ano pa yung additional information na pwede natin magamit na congruent parts?
Ayun. So, meron na tayong dalawang pares ng angles. So, we could eliminate, tatanggalin na natin yung letter C sa choices. Kasi, binigyan na tayo, sa SAS, kailangan na ng dalawang side tsaka isang angle. Okay? Dalawang angle na to. So, hindi na option si letter C. Ngayon, kailangan ma-justify natin na totoo yung makikita natin. Kasi, pwedeng ASA, pwedeng AAS. Pero dahil nakikita natin na these triangles share a common side, which is side PR, ito pong nasa gitna. So, we have here side PR is congruent to side PR by reflexive property. Tatandaan natin yan. Of congruence. Okay? So, meron tayong dalawang angle tsaka isang side. Pero take note, this is not the included side. Wala siya sa pagitan ng dalawang angle. Hindi siya yung nasa gitna ng dalawang. Hindi siya yung common side ng dalawang angle. Common side lang siya ng triangle. Okay? At kapag nangyari yon, kumbaga umikot lang tayo, the correct answer that we will use is letter A, which is AAS congruence theorem. Nakita ko yung unang nakakuha ng...
JM Espino. Tama ba? Ayan,
May
nakuha
nauna-
kayo.
Si Juliana Marie Manansala, yung nakakuha ng unang tamang sagot.
And then, sumunod si JM Espino,
Yes.
si Kurt Axel Turok, and then we have si Alfius James Amanri. Ayan, mayroon siyang, may explanation din siya. One of the side PR congruent to side PR by reflexive property, and side PR is non-included side. Kaya nakapag-decide siya that it's AAS congruence theorem.
Very good naman. Yeah, so let's try this one naman. Kasi pag meron tayong common side, minsan nagkakaroon din tayo ng common angle or relationship between the angle. So let's try question number.
So from question 6, Tutor Joshua, no? So kahit na nakita natin na meron ng dalawang angle tsaka side, we still have to check. Okay? We still have to check is it an included or non-included para makuha natin yung tama, yung sasaktong theorem or postulate that can help us prove that these triangles are congruent. Okay, so ingat-ingat tayo dito sa susunod na number. Okay, tingnan natin. So which congruence postulate or theorem proves that triangle LXN is congruent to triangle TXU? So we have this figure. Nakikita niyo yung markings, di ba? Ayan. So May markings yung LX and TX, may markings yung MX and UX. Okay, will that be enough? It means that we have to look for additional information. So is it A, SSS congruence postulate, B, ASA congruence postulate, or C, SAS congruence postulate?
May sagot na sila. Medyo mabilis kasi mas madali ito dun sa naunang question, no? Again, sabi ko nga, hindi lang common side yung pwedeng magkaroon. There could be common angles. Dito sa illustration na to, walang common angles. But there is an angle relationship that you will notice. Okay? So meron tayong dalawang side dito sa dalawang pares ng sides na congruent. And if you notice at point X, merong intersecting line segments. And yung intersecting line segments na yan formed a pair of vertical angles. So, and vertical angles are always congruent. So we have SAS congruence postulate.
Yun. Okay. So, yung TU at CLM, hindi tayo sure that they are congruent kasi walang markings. Ayan. So, hindi natin pwedeng i-assume. Pero, with the help of the vertical angles theorem, pwede natin sabihin na yung angles na yung pinartain ni Tutor Joshua ay congruent. Yun. Kaya, pasok ang SAS. Ayan. So, good job kay Angelica Hulba, Samantha Fajardo, Lea De Vera, Maria Ramos, Alayta Sawal. Ayan.
Ayan. And kung kanina o kung ngayon no, nag-identify tayo ng postulate or theorem, ngayon naman, let's identify parts that will complete the congruence. Okay?
Okay.
So, let's have question number 8. Tama, 8.
Number.
Okay? Which information is required in order to state that the triangles GHI and PSR are congruent by ASA congruence postulate? So, meron tayong dalawang pares ng parts. We will supply the third part para mapatunayan natin silang congruent by ASA. So, is it angle G congruent to angle P? Side IG congruent to side RT? Or C, side IH congruent to side RS.
Ayan. So, para mapag-isipan, kailangan ma-maintain yung correspondence ng GHI for congruent to triangle PSR. So, dapat si G corresponds to P, H corresponds to S, I corresponds to R. So, yung kailangan i-maintain, no? So, from the figure, alam natin na I is congruent to R. So, meron na tayong isang pares ng angle. And then, based on the drawing, we have angle H congruent to angle S. Kasi pareho sila na may dalawang curve markings. So, sila yung ating congruent parts. So, meron na tayong dalawang pares ng congruent angles. So, pasok na. Okay na tayo sa A at saka A. Ang kulang na lang natin ay S, side. So, ibig sabihin, Tutor Joshua, no? Tanggal na sa options natin yung letter A kasi angles yung binigay doon. Ang kailangan natin ay side. And, ayan, so yung sorted Tutor Joshua, that should be an included side. So, if we have angle I and H, angle S and R, alin naman kaya yung included side para ma-make sure natin that they are congruent by ASA congruence postulate. Nakuha na nila, Tutor Joshua.
Ayan, sila Eddie Pagiragan Jr., Princess Casilaw, Bea Gamier, Angelica Hulba, Christopher Respicio, sagot nila lahat is letter C, which is actually correct.
Good job, everyone. Ayan. So, napakadali, no? So, ibig sabihin, yung technique natin dito, Tutor Joshua, tignan muna kung ano na yung given. Tapos, tignan kung ano pa yung kulang. And then, that's the time you will definitely get the correct answer.
Okay, so let's have number 9. Okay, so which information is required? Same, pero the triangle would be RXS and triangle YXZ, and they should be congruent using the SAS congruence postulate. Again, SAS. So is it A, angle S congruent to Z? The sides XS and XZ are congruent, or C, side RS is congruent to side YZ. Ayan. So again, no, correct arrangement, correct correspondences of the parts must hold always. Okay?
Okay. So we have here, based dun sa ating figure, meron tayong Rx congruent to Rx congruent to Yx. So may isa ng side. O, check na tayo dun sa isang side. Right? And then we have vertical angles. That will be YXZ. Okay? Congruent to RXS. So meron na tayong isang side. So check na tayo, meron tayong isang angle. Check na rin tayo sa A. So, ang kulang natin ay isa pang side. Tama ba? Okay. So, tanggal na naman ulit yung ating isang option kasi angle yung ino-offer niya na answer. So, ang pagpipilian natin, is it XS congruent to XZ or RS congruent to YZ? So, dito sa mga sides, Tutor Joshua, ano ba dapat ang kukunin natin?
Okay. So kung dodrawingan natin itong nandito sa YZ tsaka itong SR or RS, magkakaroon tayo ng side, and then angle correspondences, which is hindi yung gusto ng problem. And actually, wala tayong SSA congruence postulate or theorem. Wala nun, imposible po yun. So, ano po yung natatangi at naiiwan? So, we have here side, angle, yung right angle, and then the side shown by XS and XZ. So, the correct answer is letter B. Ayan, si nakatama sila Samantha Fajardo, Marky Soriano, Angelica Culba, hinanap ko talaga yung nauna. Si Kurt Axel Furok, saka si Juliano Manansala.
Ayan. Nakuha rin nila Christopher Respicio, ang bilis, Lea De Vera, and Eddie Paghiragan.
Ayan. So, ayun po yung ating tandaan, no, kapag nagpo-prove ng congruence, kailangan yung statements natin malinaw at hindi basta-basta ginagawa lang. Okay, so let's have our last question, which is one of our topics last week. Okay, this is a theorem, and the theorem states that in a plane or in a flat surface, if a point is on the blank of a segment, then it is equidistant from the endpoints of the segment. Is it A, bisector, B, angle bisector, or C, perpendicular bisector? Iba-iba pa pala yun, no, Tutor Queenie? So, kailangan specific yung maging sagot natin. And this is given by the illustration.
Alright. So, kailangan pag yung point ay nandun sa segment na yon, dapat magiging equidistant daw ito sa endpoints ng isa pang segment.
Yan. And actually, ito po yung tinutukoy ng blank. Ito yung blank na yun. Ayan. Anong tawag natin dyan?
Ang tawag natin doon sa CP. Yan, CP na yan. Is it bisector, angle bisector, or perpendicular bisector? Hindi sila sure, pero nararamdaman nila na yun ang tamang sagot. Tutor Joshua.
Ayan. So, hindi lang sapat na siya ay bisector, no? Kasi in-specify doon sa illustration that we have formed a right angle. And we could form a right angle when that line or segment is the perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular na siya, nahati niya pa yung segment into two congruent parts.
Ayan. At alalang-alala nila Kurt Purok, Juliana Manansala, Eliza Sawal, ayan, Christopher Respicio, Eddie Paghiragan. Very good. Naalala nila dito Joshua.
So isa pa, no, tandaan po ninyo na meron din tayong angle bisector theorem that it works for angle bisectors also. Yung equidistance from that point to the sides of the angle naman.
So, useful din yan, no? Kasi may mga congruent parts din tayo yan. So, ayun na nga at natapos natin ang third quarter. Waging-wagi, natapos natin at napag-aralan natin ng mga topics for our third quarter. We were able to demonstrate understanding of key concepts of axiomatic structure of geometry and triangle congruence, and we were able to communicate mathematical thinking with the coherence and clarity in formulating, investigating, analyzing, and solving real-life problems involving congruent triangles using appropriate and accurate representation.
Ayun. At sa pagtatapos po ng ating ikatlong markahan sa school year 2021-2022, kami po ay nagagalak dahil malakas pa rin po ang suporta ng mga estudyante, magulang, guro, at pati po ang mga eskwelahan at kanya-kanyang mga division offices sa programa ng ETUlay. At bilang pagbabalik po ng aming tagumpay at tagumpay ninyo rin naman, ay gusto po namin i-recognize ang mga sumusunod na mag-aaral na nagpakita po ng kagalakan po sa pagkatuto ng math or Mathematics 8 for the third quarter dito po sa ating ETUlay online tutorial. So let us have Marky Soriano from Manuel Arroyo High School of SDO Manila for being one of the excellent tutees of the third quarter ETUlay online tutorial for this school year for Mathematics 8. Conducted by the ICTS Educational Technology Unit. Ayan. Congratulations. We also have
Chris James Amandi, also from Manuel G. Arroyo High School, SDO Manila, and NR. Yan. Isa siya sa mga nakikita natin, no, na palagi complete even with explanations on answer. And kasama din sila Eliza Nicole Sawal. Ayan, palagi nating nababanggit. Palagi nagsasagot kasama natin. Okay, from Santa Lucia National High School, SDO Bulacan, Region 3.
We also have from the same region, different school lang, Samantha Fajardo of Santa Cruz National High School of SDO Bulacan. Congratulations.
And we also have, narinig natin siya kanina, kasama din natin ngayon, Christopher Andrew Respicio from Ingod Ramona Integrated School, SDO Isabela from Region 2.
Ayan, nakakatuwa talaga yung mga taga-Ingod Ramona Integrated School, no? Kasi napapansin ko rin sila sa ibang grade level tsaka sa iba pang subjects na yung suporta talaga ng school ay nandoon. Okay, and syempre, hindi lang po students yung ating marirecognize for today. We also have our teacher or one of the most supportive teachers po for Mathematics 8. We have Ma'am Cheryl Pagirigan of San Mariano National High School of SDO Isabela for being one of the supportive teachers for the third quarter ETUlay online tutorial in Mathematics 8 for school year 21-22.
Alright. And we also have the most active school. Ayan, palagi rin natin silang kasama. Godofredo Reyes Senior National High School from SDO Camarines Sur, Region 5. You see, from different regions ang kasama natin. So, hindi lang yung mga kasama natin na nagko-comments yung ilang classmates nyo sa classroom, pero even with students from other regions in Philippines kasama natin yan. So, be friendly with each and everyone as we learn together.
Ayun po. So again, congratulations po. And sana po sa pagtatapos ng ating school year ay hindi po magmaliw yung ating kagalakan sa pagkatuto dito sa ganitong programa ng ETUlay. Kahit patapos na po, yung iba sa atin ay excited na mag-grade 9 o yung mga kapatid po natin ay graduate na or mag-moving up. Nandito pa rin po ang ETUlay. Tatapusin po natin itong school year, magkakaroon pa po ng iba't ibang programa ang ICTS para po sa estudyante, para po sa guro, at para po talaga sa mga paaralan.
At dito po nagtatapos ang ating tutorial session tungkol sa third quarter. We were able to have an awarding right today. Tandaan po natin na pwede natin ulit-ulitin ng lessons para mas lalo natin maunawaan at mabawasan ng pagkalito. Siyempre, natin mag-practice at i-apply yung mga natutunan natin.
Okay, samahan niyo po kami ulit sa next week on April 22 sa pagsasimula po ng ating fourth quarter for the school year 2021-2022. At kung may katanungan po at suggestions tayo po ay merong QR code na available sa ating Facebook page para po inyong mapuntahan. Pati po yung link ay nandoon para sa inyong, again, katanungan po and suggestions. Kaya tuloy-tuloy po ang suporta natin sa inyong lahat mula po sa amin dito sa ETUlay Math Talino Friday.
Maraming salamat po. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!